again. Okay, yesterday what we did, I've explained how to set up the iSCSI storage and stuff. Also, I told you, imagine you have 3 hosts, and one host we have created software iSCSI adapter. Okay, let me go and create the same on other 2 host. Add a software iSCSI adapter. Okay, and third host, add a software iSCSI adapter. Done. Very simple. You got it, right? So you have 3 software iSCSI adapters. What I will do, I'll simply copy these and put it on one notepad. Second, third, okay. I have 3 hosts, and three hosts has got 3 unique IQN numbers. Okay, that's fine. What else I need? I need to configure these 3 IQN adapters in my lab in such a way so that this IQN adapter will start communicating with the external world. How to set up that? Let's understand the first. Okay. Okay. So let's understand this. Imagine you have one host. What I did, I have created one SCSI, iSCSI adapter, and it has got this unique number. What I did, I simply click on enable and I gave this, right? So how it will start communicating with the box I have. I said in data center you'll have a box, right? Separate rack, and it will have the 2 controllers C1 and C2, and these are all disk shelves. All these are disk. Okay, so in between I said there must be switches. Without a switch there is no communication, right? 10 GB or 1 GB, whatever. Say 1 GB switch, cables are connected to here like this, and you have how many cables that you have? 1 GB cables. How many 1 GB cables you have?
2.
Hmm? 2
2
Six
cables.
cables are there.
gone for management. 2 gone for distributed switch. Distributed switch used for port groups. And we should have another 2 free cables. Let's identify them first. Okay? Be on mute. Let's identify them first. Go to first host, switches. There are 2 switches. If you look at, Distributed switch, standard switch. Standard switch has two cables. Distributed switch has two cables. But I'm 100% sure I have added 6 cables. Now if you look at, man, this is really pathetic. Let's do one thing. I will use the depreciated one. Why these people will do the HTML coding? Okay, go to first host, configure, networking, physical adapters. Now we'll see all the 6 cables. At least it is visible somehow. See, I can drag it. I don't know why can't they get the same kind of coding in the HTML. So I have these two free. Can I use these two cables to send and receive storage? So in short, in this picture, this is these two cables. These two cables for login into host and manage it, and these two cables customer data. Customer will log in and access their servers or send and receive data from outside world to their servers, or those VMs will send the data over those two cables. Okay, now can I use these two cables to receive the storage and send the storage? Understood? Guys, come on, quick.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so but these two cables, how these two will connect to this IQN? Okay, so there is a configuration part here which we need to perform. So what kind of configuration, that we will see. I have to create a switch. I have to create one more switch with two kernel ports. Two kernel ports. Okay, this is more of a lab setup. Real time, it's completely different. Okay, so these two kernel ports will connect to IQN, and this IQN will talk to the storage device and get the storage using these two kernel ports. If one kernel port goes bad, I still have a two. One cable goes bad, I still have a second. But you need to understand these two. Let me do like this. Switch 1, switch 2. Okay, so separate setup. But these two controllers, I have a storage LUN here. Okay, this LUN can communicate via like this and can communicate via like this. Two paths. Okay, no, you remember yesterday's scenario, 4 paths ideally, right? You can recollect the second one like this and like this. Now you will have 4 paths that I explained yesterday. Okay, so let me draw a thin line. Our major concentration area is this, but without this we cannot do anything. But the setup, real-time setup, something like this, I don't have the setup at my home, so I will also simulate this. It will take some time, but let's complete this configuration first, then we'll do the second side configuration later on. Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
Okay, so let's do that. I need two kernel ports. How to do that? Go to switches, add a switch. Okay, I need kernel adapter. Next, new switch, right? So active. I need two. Second one, I'll put unused. Remember. Okay, so iSCSI 1. In which VLAN we try to put? What is the IP
30.
for this? 30 is the
30,
30 we are already using. Okay, we use same 30 VLAN. Okay, fine. But let's decide the IP ranges. I need six more IPs, right? So can I use like this? 192.168.30 dot 151, 192.168.30 dot 152. This is for first host. Second host 192.168.30 dot 153. Second host. Agree? Your actual machine IPs are something different. What are those IPs? 192.168.30 dot 51. I guess these are the IPs, right? Same thing. T is vCenter, right? 50 is vCenter, 51, 52, 53, and Active Directory server has some other IP, 54 or 55. I didn't remember. We'll see that later on. No, we are in the
55.
same server, right? We're on the same server, 55. Okay,
55.
let's try to ping 192.168.50 dot 50. Sorry, 30 dot. It's not pinging. It means the 54 is free, but 55 is working. 53 is working. 52 is working. 51 is working. 50 is working. Okay. Now 151 it's not working. So let's make it 151. How to do that? So iSCSI 1 30 and I'll use something nothing to select just for my sake I'm just selecting 192 168 30 dot 151. Now you see started pinging. Okay, so another kernel port is up and running. What about 152? It's not pinging, right? So I need to create second kernel port on the same switch 1. So now this is communicating via second cable only. Third cable is not using. So let me add one more kernel port. This time I will use switch 1 only. I don't need to create a switch. I SCSI 2 VLAN 30. I don't require to give any of these things. Okay, 192, 168, 30 dot 152. Right? Finish. This is also communicating via two cable. That is not going to work. So, but IPs were pinging. But I want to make some changes here. Edit, teaming and failover, override. I want to bring 3 up. I want to bring 2 down. Right? So this iSCSI port, this iSCSI IP kernel port will communicate via this cable, and this iSCSI kernel port will communicate via this cable. Dedicated cables for two kernel ports. Understood? Understood? Now go to storage, go to storage, go to storage adapter, go to storage adapter. You will see iSCSI adapter and network port binding. You'll see network port binding and you will see iSCSI 1 and iSCSI 2. Okay. Means this IQN adapter will communicate to the external world via these two kernel ports. That is what I did so far.
So they will act as a same port, right? If we are binding them together.
Yes, they're binding. They'll communicate via those two cables. Okay, if one goes down, at least the second one should be up and running so that
Just like
I'll not lose the
Nifty
connectivity. Just for HA. Okay, high availability on the kernel port side. One kernel port or one cable, one port or one switch is gone. Second one will help me to read the data.
Yeah.
That is only the reason. There is no other reason. This IQN number can send data like this and can send data like this. Okay, but for some reason if this cable is faulty, no problem. This is active, so I'll send wire like this. Clear? Clear? Any
Yes,
confusion?
yes.
Okay. So this configuration is on one host. I need to perform same configuration on second host and same configuration on third host. You getting my point?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So let me go back, go to second host, switches, add a switch, again a kernel port. This time it is new switch here. Agree? On the second host. And I have 2 and 3 cables. Third cable, VM NIC 3, VM NIC 3 unused. And again, iSCSI 1, VLAN 30. Next, what is the IP? 192.168.30.153. Agree? Same IP, right? Let me know if I'm doing something wrong. 153. Another kernel port. This time, same switch. I don't want to create a new switch. iSCSI 2. iSCSI 2. VLAN 30. Next, 192.168.30.154. Okay, but second iSCSI one is there, right? The second one is need a tweaking. Okay, tweaking to bring that up, and the second you have to bring that down. iSCSI 1 and iSCSI 2 properly configured. Go to storage adapter, select the iSCSI adapter, network port binding, add SCSI 1, SCSI 2. Okay, that's it. Similar configuration on the third host, right? So if I add network port binding, add, there is nothing because no kernel ports as of now. So let me create a kernel ports first. New switch. Okay, second one is not added. Second one unused. Okay, let's do it. I'll put it on active and let's test to let's try and configure it. VLAN 30. It will not going to work, but just want to show you the difference. 68 T dot 155. Select, add a switch. Next, switch 1, Z2, 130. Next, what is the IP? Last one, 192.168.30.156. Okay. Next, finish. Now, two kernel ports are there. Both the kernel ports are using two cables to send the data out. Fine. Now go back to storage adapter and go back to the storage adapter. Add network port binding. See, there's nothing. So it requires proper HA configuration. Proper HA means on the first thing, go to team failover, override, make this as unused. Done. Now go back to the storage adapter and see. You will see only one which is having proper configuration, right? And again go back. The second one is communicating via these two. That is not acceptable because the configuration is in such a way. Two unused. Now go back to the storage adapter. Try to add. You will see second one. Got it? Done. This is how you will configure it. Now this part is done. So this side of configuration is most of the configuration is okay kind of thing. Matlab, this configuration is done. So what about this? From where you will get the storage, boss? Picture wise, I need to have a separate rack and controller 1, controller 2, this, that, and switches and all. This is what we need in the real time. So what I will do, I will simulate this into one Windows machine. What Windows machine? My Active Directory machine only. I will configure my Active Directory machine and I will assign storage to like this. What is my Active Directory server IP?
55,
192.168.30.55, right? Okay. So this is my Active Directory server. Let's see what it has. Does it has any additional storage? No. Does it has any additional storage? No additional storage, only C drive which is 40 GB. Now what I will do to this server, I will give three different data additional disk, three additional disk of 25 GB each or 20 GB each. 25 GB is too high. 20 GB each. Okay. So how to assign that? This is my AD server, Active Directory. Edit settings. What you need? You need an additional hard drive. New standard hard disk. Added. New standard hard disk. 20 GB only are required. Thin provisioning. Add one more standard hard drive. Another 20 GB only. Thin provisioning. Okay. hard drive, another 20 GB in provisioning, save. 3 hard drives I have assigned. Go to Active Directory server and then disk management. You will see 320 GB disk. Initialize all three. Okay. Let's create 3 different drives. Okay. E drive, F drive, G drive. Now you got 3 additional drives of 20 GB each. Okay. These three drives, go to picture on Active Directory server. This Active Directory server, I want to convert this into iSCSI target server. I want to make this as iSCSI target server along with Active Directory functionality. How to do that? Let's see. Go to server. Okay. Let it load the dashboard completely. Yeah. So add roles and features. Go to add roles and features. Next, next, next. File and storage services. Expand. Okay. Let's see. iSCSI target server is one of the functionality here. Select it. Next, install. You need to enable iSCSI target server service or a role inside the machine. Done. Close. Refresh. File and storage services. You will see iSCSI is added here. Okay, perfect. So now what is the IP? What is the IP? 35 means this controller 1 controller 2 in real time has a common IP for iSCSI target services, which is 30.55. Imagine. So on each and every IQ number, you need to specify please talk to 30.55 because he is the one who is responsible to assign storage to you guys. That is what the meaning. Agree? So let me go to vCenter and go to ESXi host 1, storage adapter, targets, port binding not used, still not connected, path status not used, target, add. So what is the target IP? 192. Come on, quick. 192.
55.
168. 30.55 is the target. Okay. It will communicate via 3260 is the port number for iSCSI. Okay. In real time, you need to allow firewall rules with you need to allow firewall rules for port 3260 in order to access the storage. So just rescan. Okay, if you click rescan, you'll see here some rescan host 1. Okay, completed. Now second host, go to second host and target, add 192.168.30.55. Okay, rescan everything. See, Scan second. ESXi host 3 target add 192.168.30.55. Then rescan. Rescan is finished in all the three. If you go to port binding, still path is not connected. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah. Audible?
Yes. Now.
Okay, okay, yeah. I
Yeah.
guess there is some network glitch in between. What I'm saying, if you look at on the East ESXi, after you add the target and port binding, you go to devices, there is nothing still because we haven't configured any devices on the target server. You getting my point? Okay, so let's go ahead and do the target configuration. How to do that? How to do that? Go to target server, go to target server 55 and local manager. You will see file and storage services. Inside file and storage services, I have enabled iSCSI, right? So create an iSCSI virtual disk to start. Okay, create. I want to create an iSCSI device from E drive. This is the volume. Okay, from this volume, I want to create iSCSI device. So LUN 10. Lab environment, right? Next, how much space that you want to give? 15 GB. Select dynamically expanding so that you can increase later on. Next, to whom you are assigning the storage now, tell me. Guys, quickly.
Existing target.
To whom you will assign the target, assign the storage, ESXi host, MAC address, or IP address, or host name,
IQN.
IQN. Perfect. So if I say new iSCSI target, next, okay. So all the targets have a common name. Okay, what I will do, I'll give some common logical name. VMware lab. Okay, this group contains all production cluster IQNs for shared storage allocation from SAN via iSCSI. Okay, got it? Read it carefully. Fair enough? Go ahead, go to next. Add target. You will see all the three IQN numbers. You will not see a host name, you will not see IP, you will not see MAC address, you will not see VLAN ID or a host name or a DNS name, anything. You will only see IQN numbers. Select one IQN number, okay. Select the second one, okay. Select the third one, okay. Means you are allocating LUN 10, okay, logical unit number 10 of one volume or one block of 15 GB to three servers in the cluster. Okay, I have a 64 host, so you need to add all the 64 IQNs here. If you have a 64 host, you getting my point?
Yes.
If within the cluster,
For
within the cluster, if how many hosts that cluster will support? 64, right?
64.
All the 64 hosts you have to give it here, so that this LUN 10 will be visible across all the 64 hosts as a shared device or, or shared storage. Yeah, tell me, Vivek, you are asking something. Vivek? Okay.
hello.
Yeah, you are asking something. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, if we can assign this particular IQN to different LUNs also, right?
I'll create
If
two
we
more.
have two or
Just
three
watch.
LUNs, then we
Yeah,
can
just
assign the
watch
same
it. I
IQN.
will create two more devices for your information.
Okay, thank you.
Too fast. Okay.
Yeah.
Next, if you want to give a password, if you want to give a password, you can give a password for authentication. I don't want to give anything. Now, SCSI disk is created and target is assigned and access is granted to the volume. Everything is done. Now, but the problem is I gave this as a learn 10 properties. If you see logical unit number, it will always start with 0. So on the back end it is 0, on the front end it is named as a 10. It is hard to remember for the people who are doing the storage administration, or else from your side on the VMware side, if you check this, you will also see the same number. Learn ID will be displayed over there. So it is hard for you to remember even. You never know what is the number. So let's make a standard 10 apply. Okay, correct. So on the front end, it is learn 10. Minimize, sorry, go to vCenter, go to vCenter. Now simply rescan, simply rescan. You should see storage and the LUN ID is 10 of 15 GB. 15 GB. Okay. On the second host, it is not visible at the moment. Again, select the IQN, simply rescan. See, the same storage of LUN 10 of 15 GB is also showing on the second host. Third host, select and rescan. It is also showing over there. You'll see LUN ID is 10. So it is how you remember on the back end and on the front end. Fair enough? Any questions up to this?
No.
Okay. If you go to targets, now you see both, sorry, port binding, both connections are active on every host. If you go to network port binding, connections are active now because IQN is now connected with target disk. Okay, target, now it is connected to the target and it also got the storage and it has two paths, two paths, two paths. One is active, another one is standby. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, now you are saying Can I use the same IQN numbers to assign to a different LUN? Yes, you can create 1024 LUNs, or you can attach 1024. There is a maximum number. I forgot, 256 or 1024. I'm sorry, my bad. But yeah, you can check that number in maximums sheet. Okay, you can assign multiple LUNs to a 6i host. That means your IQ can read multiple devices at a time. Clear? So how to do that? Let's see. So one is done. So second one, from where you will create, if you go to task on the right hand side top corner, new iSCSI virtual disk. Now this time I will use F drive to create a volume. What is the volume name now? Or learn 20. Okay. So right, next again 15 GB. You don't need to separately create a target again. Already target is set, existing target. Okay, existing target, it has all the three members.
Yeah.
Right, to the same group I'll assign the new LUN. Means this LUN also visible to all three. Next, all the three IQ numbers. Who can access the second one? All the three.
But first time we need to add it manually, like whatever IQN
For the
numbers we
first
have,
time,
we have to add it manually.
you have to create a logical boundary of number of IQNs. Once you created a boundary, you can assign, and you can keep on assigning the new devices to the boundary, so that on the front end your lab's ESXi host can access all the storage from the backend. That's it.
For
Done.
big infrastructure, it will be difficult, like to add
That is
all
how
of
you
them.
manage it. Yeah, you have to imagine, right? I cannot build the big infrastructure in the lab. Again, if you look at again learn 20, it started again assigning 0. So make it as 20. Then minimize, sorry, not minimize and rescan once again. You will see the second device. See, second device. On the second host, you have to rescan it once again. Second host, you need to rescan once again. Got it? On the third host, you need to rescan. Got it? Three. All the three hosts has got the same storage. So let's create one more. The last one. Three volumes, right? We created three volumes. We'll allocate three LUNs. LUN 30. Okay. So description is something where you can understand. Okay. Discuss GB, 10 GB, the same lab, G drive. Let's say I forgot the numbering. Leave it. It's okay, right? So I am coming out. Minimize this and go to vCenter and rescan once again. See, you got the number with 0. It is hard to remember. On the here you'll only see number. On the back end, that my number might be something different. So it is basically hard for me to remember. So be careful. Those numbers must be matched across. Again, rescan. You'll see the number will change. See, changed. Right? Same thing with the third host. Is already rescan. Is already discovered. I believe again host storage adapter. Fine. So it is discovered across all the three hosts. Now you got the raw storage. What is next step? Guys, come on quickly. Now you got the raw hard disk. What you have to do? Hello?
Hello.
Speak out. If you don't know, tell me don't know. You need to format the drives in data store format. What is the data store format? VMFS5 or
VMF,
VMFS6? That is already explained, right?
VMFS 6.
Whatever, irrespective. At least you got the raw device. What you have to do in order to use the storage? You need to format it and use it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll go to host 1. I'll go to host 1, data stores, data stores, no data stores. Only local one is there, which is 8 GB. So new data store using VMFS that can format disk or LUN. I have the LUNs. Let me go to next. I'll give LUN 10. Where I'm creating this, where I'm formatting on top of ESXi host 1. Please remember. Okay. LUN 10. Which one I need to select here? Now tell me. Hello? Which device I need to select?
Third one.
Hmm?
Third one device. 10.
This one, right?
Yes.
Next. VMFS5 or VMFS6 based on the version compatibility. I'll select 6 because it's a new lab. It will format everything. It will format all the 15 GB into 1 MB block size using 1 MB block size, and space reclamation priority low. Okay, if something is deleted, it will reclaim the space back. That we'll discuss later on. Fine. Okay. So you see, London is created here and formatted using VMFS6, and actually it is 15 GB. After the overhead, it got 14.75 capacity, and once the formation is done, you see 13.34. Some other overhead is gone for reservation. Clear?
Okay.
Clear?
Yes.
Now where we created this? Where we created on ESXi host 1.
Host 1.
On ESXi host 1, I have a LUN 10 and host 1 local storage of 7.75 GB. So if you go to host 2, you have a local 2, also LUN 10, but I haven't created LUN 10 on the second host, but it will automatically mount it because that's a shared storage, right?
Yes.
It is
Yes.
visible. LUN 10 is visible in all the three.
All host.
All the host. How many hosts in real time? 64. In all the 64 hosts, LUN 10 will be visible.
Yes.
Okay. Anyone can use LUN 10. Means host 1 can use and deploy machine. Host 2 can use and deploy machine. Host 3 can use and deploy the machine in LUN 10. Same thing with LUN 20. But LUN 20, what I will do, I'll create it on host 3. New storage. Next. LUN 20. LUN 10 is gone from here because it is already formatted. So I will take 20, which is raw device still. So next, finish. Okay, it is formatted. If you look at, it will also populate in the other systems in a 1 or 2 seconds. It will not take much time. Just refresh, you will see 20 is populated. 20 is populated. Let me create third one. 30. Select LAN 30. Finish. 30 is created on host 2. Let's see, 30 is showing here. Go to first host. It is still not mounted, but just wait for a second. Automatically it will mount. Or just refresh it, it will show you. Just refresh. Refresh. Why it is not showing? It is showing here on third host. On the second host, it is showing. On the first host, it should display. Why it is not showing it, man? Something strange. Okay, configure devices. It is there here. Then it should show. Might be graphics problem or something. There is some issue. 130. Let's see. It should give an error. Yeah. Let's see. 30. Go to storage. 30. I don't think so. Some issue on the host one, but just a moment. Let me unmount. Unmounting is still running. Let's wait for some time and see. Okay, unmounted successfully. Fresh. Delete. Gone. So let me create it on first host. Might be some IO issue. That is the reason why it is not mounting. I'll create it on 30 on first host. It is there here. Awkward configuration. This is not showing here. Just a second, not consumed. This consumed as a 130. How come? assign to all three. There's no restriction. I might need to reboot the lab completely to get this rectified. That is only the option I can think of at the moment. Let's see. Okay, so I just deleted it. So let me create new data store. New data store. Next. 30. Not sure why it is not picking up. One last attempt. If it works well, it's fine. Otherwise, we'll see tomorrow. It is formatting. Let me reboot the host. Let me reboot the host. If it is up, it should up with all the three. It is working here. It is working here. It is not working from here. Let's see what it come up with. But this time, host reboot will take little longer than what you expect because the configuration is increased, right? See. Go to first host. See, it's still booting up. Okay, server is rebooted. Okay, quick. My bad. Okay, server is rebooted. Go to vCenter and see. Now it has got all the three. Understood? It's a lab, man.
Yes.
What I can do? I cannot do much on this, right? So we need to do some tweakings. See, now it is populated across all the three. Okay, this is how you will configure iSCSI storage from any SAN device to your VMware lab or to your VMware environment in the customer side. But the configuration little vary. Real time, it is much easier than what we did now, I can say.
Okay.
Okay, so our lab is more tricky than real time. Real time is very simple.
Okay.
Right? Any questions up to this? Any questions up to this? Anchal? Sorry. Vivek? Sunil?
No, sir.
No? Okay. So let Let me stop the recording here. I will catch up tomorrow.